Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like the person staring back at you was just tired? Not from lack of sleep, but from life itself. You smile, you move, you function, but deep inside there's a silence no one else can hear, a weight that words can't describe. Depression doesn't always look like tears. Sometimes it looks like numbness. It's waking up each day wondering when the light will return. But what if I told you the light never left? What if your darkness is not a punishment, but an invitation? Today, SHI shares a truth that could change the way you see your pain forever. The beginning of understanding. Before we begin, take a deep breath. Inhale slowly through your nose. Exhale gently through your mouth. Feel the air moving through you. Feel your body. Feel the weight of your existence. You are here right now, and that means something. In this very moment, you are alive. You may not feel strong, you may not feel hopeful, but your presence itself carries meaning. Many people today are walking through life like shadows, alive but not living. Their hearts are heavy, their eyes are tired, and their spirits whisper quietly for rest. This is the silent pain that many never speak about. It is called depression. It is not simply sadness or weakness. It is the deep stillness that comes when your soul becomes weary from carrying too much for too long. It is when light feels distant, when the mind becomes your battlefield, and when even small tasks feel impossible. I tell you this not to remind you of your suffering, but to help you see that you are not alone in it. Depression is not your fault. It does not make you broken. It does not make you less. It is a signal, a deep call from your inner being that something within you needs care, not criticism. In Shaolin philosophy, pain is not an enemy, it is a messenger. Every ache, every emotional wound, every wave of emptiness is your body and mind trying to tell you stop. Listen. Something within needs healing. When you ignore this message, the suffering grows louder. When you fight it, it becomes heavier. But when you face it with awareness, when you say to yourself, yes, I feel this pain, and I will listen, then healing begins to unfold. The problem is that many people are taught to hide their emotions. They are told to be strong, to keep smiling, to act as if nothing hurts. But suppressing pain only feeds it. True strength is not in pretending you are fine. It is in having the courage to feel. The first step in overcoming depression is not to fix it, but to face it, to sit quietly and say, this is what I feel, I don't need to hide it anymore. When you allow yourself to feel, you begin to release. What you suppress becomes your prison, but what you face becomes your freedom. Understand that your mind is like water. It becomes turbulent when disturbed, but when you allow it to settle, clarity returns. Depression makes the water muddy, but within you, there is always stillness waiting beneath the surface. The light is not gone. It is simply hidden behind the clouds, and clouds do not destroy the sky. They only pass. You are that sky, boundless, vast, and eternal. The storm may rage, but it cannot consume you completely. The more you breathe, the more you stay present, the more you begin to realize, I am still here. I am still breathing. And if I am breathing, it means there is still hope. Depression wants you to believe that nothing will change, but change begins the moment you decide to stop running from yourself. That decision, even if small, is the first victory. It is the beginning of understanding that healing does not happen overnight. It happens in moments like this, where you choose to keep breathing, to keep showing up, even when your heart feels heavy. So, take another deep breath. Let the air remind you that life still moves through you. The pain you feel today is not your end, it is your awakening, the battle within. Take another deep breath. Inhale slowly through your nose, exhale gently through your mouth. Feel the stillness return for a moment. What most people do not understand about depression is that it is not always visible. The world sees your smile, but it does not see the war behind your eyes. It sees you showing up, but it does not feel the exhaustion that lives inside you. Depression is a quiet storm that rages beneath calm waters. It is not about being weak, it is about being human. When your mind turns against you, it is not because you are broken, but because you have carried pain for too long without rest. The mind becomes tired, like a warrior who has fought too many battles without retreat. This is why compassion toward yourself is essential. You cannot heal by hating the parts of you that are hurting. You must approach yourself with gentleness, with understanding. In Shaolin teaching, there is a saying, "The enemy outside cannot harm you if the enemy within is defeated." Depression makes your inner world your greatest battlefield. It turns your thoughts into weapons against yourself. You begin to believe lies that whisper you are not enough, that you will never change, that joy is not meant for you. But remember, thoughts are not facts. They are clouds passing through the sky of your mind. When you attach to them, you suffer. When you observe them, you begin to find peace. Depression feeds on identification. When you say, "I am depressed," your mind builds a cage. But when you say, "I am experiencing depression," you create distance between who you are and what you are feeling. You are not the storm. You are the sky that holds it. This distinction is where your strength begins to return. Start to observe your thoughts like a monk watching ripples in water. Do not chase them. Do not fight them. Just watch. See how they come, stay for a while, and go. When you stop wrestling with your thoughts, they lose their power. This is the essence of meditation, not to silence the mind completely, but to stop identifying with every noise it makes. Depression thrives on resistance. The more you fight your emotions, the stronger they grow. But when you accept them with awareness, they begin to dissolve. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means saying, "I will no longer add suffering to my suffering." The second step to overcoming depression is not control, it is surrender. Let go of the need to understand everything. Healing is not logical, it is spiritual. Some wounds do not heal through answers, they heal through presence. When you sit quietly, when you breathe, when you allow yourself to exist without judgment, your nervous system begins to calm. The mind starts to rest. You reconnect with the rhythm of life that depression tries to steal. There is wisdom hidden even in your darkness. Sometimes, pain comes not to destroy you, but to rebuild you into someone who understands depth, empathy, and compassion. Through your suffering, you learn to see life differently. You begin to understand that every soul you meet is fighting an unseen battle, just like you. This understanding transforms your pain into purpose. You become softer, more aware, more human. Depression teaches you that joy is not found in constant happiness. It is found in moments of peace between the storms. So when your mind feels heavy, do not rush to escape it. Sit with it, feel it, and remind yourself, this too shall pass. Nothing in nature stays forever, not even the night. The dawn always comes, so hold on through your darkness, for light is already on its way. The path of healing. Take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose, exhale slowly through your mouth. Feel the air move through you, grounding you in this moment. Healing from depression is not a race, and it is not about pretending to be fine. It is about learning to walk again, step by step, with gentleness. When your mind feels heavy, even small actions can seem impossible. But remember, the mountain is not climbed by one great leap. It is climbed by many small, consistent steps. The same is true for your healing. Every time you rise from bed when your heart feels heavy, every time you choose to breathe instead of give up, every time you show yourself kindness instead of judgment, you are healing. In Shaolin wisdom, we learn that the body and mind are deeply connected. When one suffers, the other feels the weight. That is why healing must happen through both. Begin with your body. Move it, even when you don't feel like it. Walk, stretch, breathe deeply. The body is not your enemy, it is your anchor. When you move your body, you awaken energy that depression tries to trap. You begin to break the stillness that pain creates. Movement reminds your mind that life still flows. When you move your body, your breath deepens, and your spirit slowly begins to awaken again. But healing is not just physical, it is emotional. You must learn to forgive yourself. Many people with depression carry guilt. Guilt for not being strong enough, for not being happy, for not being able to explain their pain. But guilt is the chain that keeps you tied to your suffering. Let it go. You are not to blame for what you feel. Depression is not your fault. It is a reaction to pain, exhaustion, or loss. You do not need to apologize for struggling. You only need to remind yourself that you are still worthy of love, even on your darkest days. The path of healing also requires silence. Not the silence of isolation, but the silence of reflection. In stillness, you begin to listen to your heart. You start to notice the quiet voice within that depression tries to drown out. The voice that whispers, "Keep going. Spend time in nature. Sit under the sky. Watch the wind move through the trees." Nature has no judgment, it simply exists. And in its stillness, you begin to remember that life continues, even after storms. The earth does not rush to heal, it allows time to do its work. So must you. In Shaolin philosophy, discipline is not about punishment, it is about consistency. Healing requires the same discipline, small daily acts of self-care. Drink water, sleep well, eat slowly, write down what you feel, pray, meditate, or simply breathe. Do not wait to feel motivated, act gently even when you do not. Healing is born in repetition. Over time, the fog begins to lift. You will not wake up one morning and suddenly feel free, but slowly, light will begin to return. You will start to laugh again, even if briefly. You will begin to notice beauty again, in the sunrise, in a kind word, in your own strength. That is how healing feels. Not dramatic, but quiet, gentle, and steady. Depression tries to convince you that you are powerless, but every small act of care is proof that you are not. Every time you choose to keep living, you are winning a silent war. And when you begin to see progress, remember, healing is not linear. Some days you will rise, and others you will fall, and both are part of the journey. The goal is not perfection, the goal is progress. So walk gently on this path. Forgive your pace. Trust the process. Your healing is not behind you, it is happening right now, in this moment, with every breath you take. The light within darkness. Take a slow breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale gently through your mouth. Feel the air as it enters you, as it nourishes the space that pain once filled. Depression often convinces you that there is no light left, that you are alone in the darkness. But what if the darkness is not here to destroy you, but to reveal the light that has always lived within you? In Shaolin philosophy, the lotus flower grows from the mud. It rises through the murky water to reach the sunlight, yet it remains unstained. This is what your soul is capable of. The mud, the pain, the confusion, and the heaviness you feel are not signs of failure. They are the soil from which your awakening will grow. You are not lost in the darkness, you are being refined by it. Every hardship you endure is shaping you into someone deeper, wiser, and stronger. You must understand, the light you seek will not always appear as brightness. Sometimes it comes as awareness. It comes as a quiet understanding that even in your worst moments you are still here, still breathing, still capable of choosing. Depression often tries to strip you of hope by whispering, "You are powerless." But that is the greatest lie of all. You have power, not the loud, forceful kind, but the silent strength that lives beneath your pain. The fact that you have endured until now is proof of that power. It is not weakness to feel broken. It is courage to keep standing when every part of you wants to fall. The path to light is not about denying your pain. It is about learning to carry it differently. When you stop resisting the darkness and instead learn from it, it begins to lose control over you. Pain becomes a teacher. It shows you where you have been holding on too tightly, where you have been neglecting your truth. It strips away illusions and forces you to see what truly matters. That awareness is your awakening. Healing begins when you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" Every wound holds wisdom. Every moment of despair carries a lesson about your strength. There is light in your survival, even when you cannot yet see it. The key is not to rush your way out of darkness, but to sit within it long enough to find the light it hides. Sit in silence. Breathe. Let your pain speak. It will tell you what needs to heal, what needs to be released, and what needs to be forgiven. You are not your depression. You are the awareness that sees it. You are not your thoughts. You are the space in which they appear. You are not your pain. You are the consciousness that feels it and still chooses to live once you realize this. The darkness no longer defines you. You begin to understand that the same place that hurt you is the same place from which your strength will rise. Like fire refining steel, pain purifies the soul. You begin to notice small signs of light, moments of peace, moments of gratitude, moments when you feel connected again. That is how light returns. Slowly, quietly, but powerfully. The darkness was never here to end you. It was here to awaken you, so do not curse your pain. Thank it. For through it, you are remembering who you truly are. Resilient, capable, and full of light.